Craig, congratulations on continuing as head coach for 2025. What made you want to stay?
Yeah, there's a few reasons probably. Not quite sure I'm ready to retire yet. Like a few years ago I thought I was, but not quite sure what I'd do with my time. But the main thing is, the feeling around the club and the people in the club. I think it's as good a spot as I've ever seen as far as people caring about the club, and right from the top, from Matt all the way through to the playing staff, the coaching staff, the footy staff. They're really good people that work really hard, but they also care about their teammates. And like I say, it's a pretty enjoyable place to come every day.
Absolutely, and I guess alongside kind of the culture of the club, how do you come to a decision like this? What's the process like for you?
Yeah, well, I haven't really got a process. It's sort of, sometimes you have a bit to think about and then just see what the next the next thought is, or the next action. It was funny there about a week ago. I just went for a bit of a walk around where I live, and I seen a guy probably about my age, a little bit older, and he looked like he just got off his push bike, and he had all the skins on wherever, and he looked, I don't know whether he might have been just tired, but it was about 11:30 in the day, and he's sitting on his seat out the front of his house, just looking into nowhere. And I'm thinking, geez, I don't know where he's got much to do with his time. He looked like he might have retired. And so, like I say, you just see things sometimes that makes you think. But as I said, it's a pretty special place to work. As I said, a lot of good people here that really care about the place and care about their teammates. And like I say, the other thing, I enjoy coming in working with these players. It has changed without a doubt, how the world works. And so when the world changes, people change, and the young guys coming through are a lot different to what they were when I first started doing this job and when I played. So, but as I said, these young guys here, they're really switched on to their footy. They enjoy their footy. They enjoy their week leading up to games, and really, as I said, just enjoy coming in each day and working with them.
Absolutely. I guess off an experience like seeing that guy on the street, and you have said a couple times throughout the year that you can't believe you're still here in some press conferences, but
that must be after losses, will it?
Has the performance this year played a part in that as well, maybe?
It probably has a little bit. I think we've certainly got some talent in our team, there. But as I said, the main thing is like that enjoyment factor. And I think the other thing is, I think my strength has always been my work ethic. Like whatever I need to do to play my role, I'm willing to put the time and effort into it. I think when I lose that, that's the time it is to go, because I know I'll be letting other people down. Like I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'm not the most cleverest about footy, but I know what my role is, and like I say, I'll work hard to get it done as good as I can, and that's what I expect from players and coaches and whatever. But so I need to be doing that too, and if I find myself that it's really hard to do that, well, that'll be the time to walk out the front door.
You spoke about the boys and how good of a group they are this year. They were really excited to hear the news from you. How much does that support kind of mean to you?
Yeah, it does. Well, with all due respect, I spoke to a few of the players, and actually a couple of them come to me without me sort of going to them what they did do was reinforce that they'd like me to stay. So, that was another sort of tick, I suppose. And then I approached a couple of the other guys, and, they told me the same, So, going back 20 years ago, they might have told me what I wanted to hear, but I'm pretty much sure these days they're pretty straight down the line with what they think, and they'll tell you. So that was obviously a big point too, like having those senior players, happy about me staying, or, being okay with me staying. There's I sometimes, you just think you're a bit too old school for some of the younger blokes, because I have got some old school mentality still. I've a little bit modernised, but but like I say, they were, they seemed to be genuinely, glad, happy for me to stay. So that was another tick as well.
Absolutely. Speaking to players, last year Munster took a little bit of credit for getting you to stay on. Was he involved again this year?
Yeah, he came and see me a couple of weeks ago. So it's that's one thing about Cameron. He's not backward and come forward. So, but like I say, just talking to a couple of other senior players, and they were of the opinion of it, his opinion. So, I thought that was it wasn't the main consideration, but it was certainly a consideration.
Speaking of support, the Storm members and fans have been absolutely elated to hear the news. They've been with you the whole way through your journey, obviously. How much does that kind of external support mean to you, not only just as a coach, but personally?
Yeah, no, it does. Ever since I've been here, the fans have been, wonderful. Obviously we're not in a rugby league territory, where AFL's like the king sport down here. But so it was really new for me when I come, because I was brought up in in the bush, where if you didn't play rugby league, you didn't play anything. So in the winter. So to come to another place where rugby league wasn't the main sport in winter was pretty strange for me. But I really like that part of it. But while we probably haven't got as many supporters or fans, that go to games as New South Wales and Queensland teams, I reckon the Victorian supporters are as parochial as any supporters I've ever come across, and they come here each week. They used to come to the old Olympic Park, which probably wasn't a real pleasant place to come on winter's nights with pissing down rain and whatever, but they just turn up and they'd make some noise. And so I think we're really, really lucky with the fan base and the supporter base we've got. They're very parochial, and they stick to us till the end. Absolutely.
You've also given props to the coaching staff and the performance staff around you. How important is it for you to have a system in place with those blokes that makes you do what you do an easier job?
Yeah, well, again, as going back 23 years ago when we started, there was one assistant coach, and there was one strength conditioning coach, and there was one guy that done the strapping or whatever. I mean, we've got most positions now, probably 12 or 13. So that obviously makes everyone's job a little bit easier as far as the workload. But the one thing that I've got a lot better at the last 6-7 years is trusting the coaches to do their job, and the coaches that we've got here, our assistant coaches, they are they're only young guys, but they're really good at their job. They've got a real good work ethic, but they know the game inside out. And we've got certain areas that that are our areas. And I suppose when I first started like that, I used to always be checking up. I don't need to check up no more. That saves a lot of time and energy as well. So like I say, they're very, very lucky to have the coaches there that we have got with their work ethic and their knowledge of the game.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, Craig. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
I'm sure the fans are very excited to have you on for another year and maybe even beyond.
I hope they don't start throwing pies at me on Saturday night.